We call this an audible. Our next guest, it wouldn't be the same without him, Ira. I mean, Wednesdays are it's a staple. We get our diamond notes from Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich.
That's right. Eric Bakich's appearances on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA are brought to you by Advantage Sports, your home for baseball, softball, football, hockey, soccer, volleyball, lacrosse, ice hockey, and field hockey equipment and apparel. They carry all the top brands, including Rawlings, Easton, Mizuno, and more. And they have over 6,000 square feet of training facilities. They can service all of your high school, college, or travel teams' needs. Advantage Sports is located at 2019 West Stadium Boulevard in Ann Arbor and online at catchtheadvantage.com.
You know, maybe he could have been caught in another rain delay. There were certainly enough of those.
I think he was just watching his team score another run, because I was at the last two Michigan baseball games. Sam, 18 innings, 36 runs, 19 and 17 in the last two games.
The Wolverines got back to their series-winning ways and their run-scoring ways. Coach said that we score runs. He's talking about the two losses they had, Iowa and UIC back-to-back, where they couldn't score. Well, boy, did they get that corrected quick, fast, and in a hurry. And joining us to talk about that is Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich. Coach Bakich, good morning.
Good morning, Sam. How are you guys?
Doing great, and glad that you can join us and go over this offensive explosion that you guys have had over the past 4 games. You said, hey, we score runs. That's what we do. Well, Coach, you guys did it in a big way, starting with Friday's game, that 12-4 victory over Northwestern.
Yeah, like we talked about last week, that those shutouts were just a fluke, and guys came back, responded well, a lot of quality at bat, and put up a ton of runs. Starting with Central Michigan last Wednesday, and then carrying over into the weekend and into last night's game as well. It's been a lot of offense going on, so that's been good to see.
That first game, you scored 12 runs, and that's the headline. But how about Evan Hill picking up his first win of the season, going 5 in the third and striking out 5 in that contest?
Yeah, he's been getting a little bit better each outing, and just the fact that he's making consistent starts now is making him better, and that's just what we need. I mean, just anytime a guy comes back from injury, every pitch he throws out there is just another pitch to get him better and improve. And so he didn't have I wouldn't call it his A game, or I wouldn't even say he was necessarily had his best performance, but Evan's a competitor, as good of a competitor as we've got. So he's one of those guys where if he's got his B game or his C game, he's going to go out there and compete. Believe he should beat the opponent with whatever he's got, and that's kind of how he does it. So he was effective. That was good to see.
So, Coach, you guys move on to the next day, and you put runs on the board again. You score 8 runs in that contest, but it was a game where you're unable to hold on to a lead, and Northwestern won that game 9-8.
Yeah, that was disappointing. We had to manufacture some things and get in motion on the bases, just kind of spark our offense a little bit, which we did, and we scored some runs because of it. And then we started swinging the bats a little bit better in the middle and later innings. But that was one where every ball they hit seemed to find a hole, and it was a bunch of ground ball singles, seeing eye singles, blue hits, things like that. Just one of those days, when you play this game where it just seems like the other team's finding the holes and getting the bounces and things like that. So, they were able to score and put some runs up, but we came back and we took the lead, and we just, Jacob Cronenworth just had one of those rare days as a closer, and every closer has experienced it when it just wasn't your day. Mm-hmm. And gave up a few runs, gave up 3 runs in the 8th for them to take the lead, and then, Croney leads off the next inning with a home run, which most closers don't get to do. But, we had it within 1, and, the 9th inning, I thought for sure we would stage a comeback and walk them off, and it just didn't happen. And, we let up 5 runs in the 7th and 8th inning, and that was just, that was proved to be the difference.
Yeah, I was gonna, because clearly this was an anomaly we talked so much about Ryan Newtoff all year. To see him have 5 earned runs in a game is definitely out of the ordinary. But this was one of those days, as you described it, where everything they hit just kind of found its spot.
Yeah, the stat line doesn't match up with the performance. He actually made some good quality pitches. The guy, it's one of those swings where, you watch big league games on TV and the guy kind of sticks the bat out on a good pitch and just bloops one over the infielder's head. It was a day like that.
Gotcha.
And there was a lot of those, and those are earned runs, but just one of those days. And I thought for sure when we came back to take the lead in the middle innings and the later innings, we would hold it, but we just weren't able to hold it.
Well, Coach, you held it the next day. We're talking to Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. Brett Adcock held the opposition down to one earned run in his 6 innings of work, and that's all they scored. Meanwhile, on the other side, you guys scored I almost said 17 runs. You guys scored 19 runs, Coach. 19 runs in that contest to win that game 19-1.
Yeah, I mean, we when we string quality at bats together, we score a lot of runs, and we just guys had a good approach, and they were hitting balls hard and taking their walks, and that was kind of the theme Sunday and last night is just not trying to do too much. And it's one of those deals where we string quality at bats together, we score a lot of runs, and that's what we did. It was just the last 2 games. It's kind of been an offensive outburst a little bit. I wouldn't say it was anything out of body. It wasn't some crazy, we're doing something new or different, or somebody had like this incredible weekend, maybe outside of Jake Bivens, but it was just we were hitting mistakes. We were taking our walks. We were running the bases hard and stringing quality at bats together. And we should score that many runs if we're getting walked and we're getting mistake pitches to hit.
Well, apparently that happened again yesterday, because the biggest 2-game total of the season, 19 runs on Sunday, followed by 17 runs yesterday. You beat Eastern 17-2, and that's more in line with the first time you played Eastern. I mean, it's been an explosion. It was 18-4. You beat them back on April 7th. Then your next contest was a 4-2 loss a week later, and then this time you come back and you blow it up again, 17-2. Coach, so kind of take us through yesterday versus the Eagles. Did we lose Coach Bakich? All right, so we lost Coach Bakich. We'll get Coach Bakich back on the line to take us through the 17-2. I mean, it was a destruction of the Eastern Michigan Eagles.
If we don't hear from, that's going to be Coach right there, but I could take you through it. I was on the call last night of the game, Sam. Eastern could not find the strike zone, and once they finally did, Michigan smacked the ball over the place. No home runs. The wind was blowing in. It was going to be tough to do that, but they smacked the ball over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we'll bring Coach Bakich back on. So, I was commenting on how the first contest of the season against Eastern, you guys exploded on them. And then the next time you played them, Coach, it kind of, the runs were down. They actually won that game 4-2, but this one looked much more like your first contest versus the Eagles. This time you beat them 17-2.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, getting cut off there. We got walked 14 times last night. We had, I think, 11 hits, and just, credit to our guys for not trying to do too much, taking their walks, quality at bats, one line drive after the next, and putting up, all 17 of those runs came in the first 4 innings. And then we took out Cronenworth and Bivens and Glines and Benedetti, and really it was great because we got to let a lot of guys get in there and get some action for an extended period of time instead of just 1 inning or 1 at bat. So it's good to see a lot of guys get some extended innings. But the 4-2 game, they threw a left-hander that actually pitched at the end of last night's game, and just had us off balance a little bit. Just a lot of change-ups. Slower throwing speed, throwing more like 78 to 80, when maybe our offense is we seem to hit, guys with a little more velocity a lot better than guys who throw really soft. So, just one of those fluke 4-2 loss, but our guys came out and took advantage of some mistakes and put up a lot of runs early yesterday.
You talked about a lot of runs yesterday. We also mentioned the game on Sunday, but they seemed a lot different from the broadcast booth. I was curious from your perspective and from your guys. In the game yesterday, you talk about all the walks. Does it get frustrating as a hitter? You want to get up there, and sure, a walk is good. You get on base, and the bases are loaded. You're going to bring in a run. But they also want to go out there and be able to swing the bat. Does it get frustrating? Can you get impatient when you're not seeing any strikes at all?
Sure, absolutely. But then it's the it's the other side of that is if you get frustrated and get impatient and get yourself out with runners in scoring position and have a non-quality at bat, then there's going to be even more frustration than if you took your walk. So you just can't try to do too much. And where we've struggled is when we've tried to do too much, get too big, whether that be with a physical swing or mentally in our minds. Just trying to overdo it instead of just trust what we've got. And so it was good to see guys draw bases loaded walks, especially with a 3-2 count, because then they're seeing the ball well. They're not chasing and leaving the zone, and just continuing to just get the next guy up, just pass the baton. You don't have to hit the grand slam, just get the next guy up. And so it's a team play, and so it's good to see it from that perspective.
A few more minutes with Eric Bakich here on the Michigan Insider, Sports Talk 1050, WTKA, online at WTKA.com. And, Coach, you talked about getting the guys into the game yesterday for about half of the game or more when you went to the bench and started to bring guys in. Same thing on the game on Sunday, though it was a little bit later in the game. How important is it for you to get those guys in? But it's kind of a balance. You bring in some young guys to get some experience, but at the same time, you get some seniors onto the field that don't play a lot, and they're coming down to their home stretch, their last games at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it's anytime you can get some of the guys who haven't played a lot, whether it be a senior or a freshman, it's huge because as you get into postseason baseball, tournament baseball, those guys are one injury or one circumstance away from getting in and contributing. When we play in some of these tournaments, whether it be a conference tournament or a regional tournament or whatever, you could play 5-6 games in a 5-day period, and you're going to need somebody to step up and contribute and do something that maybe hasn't had his number called all season long consistently. And any repetitions that they can get, any opportunities to compete they can get along the way are certainly going to help them have success in that situation when it comes up big, when it's a huge part of our season and could be the determining factor in moving forward or not. So, yeah, we don't take those opportunities lightly. It's, as I told them yesterday, don't play the scoreboard, just keep playing the game. It's an opportunity to compete, and I thought our guys did a good job with that.
All right, so Coach, we are the end of the regular season is upon us. You guys are locked into the Big Ten tournament. Your last home slate, your last regular season series of the season is a non-conference affair against Oklahoma State, number 13 team in the country. Tell us what they bring to the table, and then talk about your seniors, their last home stand and senior day.
Yeah, so Oklahoma State, that's going to be as good of a challenge as Maryland was, as Iowa was, as playing Indiana on the road was. I mean, it's going to be, a great opportunity for us to face a super regional type team, a team that was in the super regionals last year. They're ranked in the top 15 in the country. They're I think first or second in the Big 12, them and Texas Christian. And, it's going to be a great challenge. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Everything's pushed up a day because of the conference tournament. But they can pitch. They've got a team ERA that's pretty good. They've got a couple seniors that start on the weekends for them, Friday and Saturday. They've got a solid offense that is an aggressive offense. They run, they bunt, they have good approaches. So it's going to be a great challenge at the perfect time because you want to be playing your best baseball at the end of the season. And what better opportunity than to play a very good opponent leading into a conference tournament? You want to be playing well. You want to have all the confidence in the world going into the Big Ten tournament. You want to have a statement series on your resume as you get as deep as you can into that tournament. this is just a lot of great opportunities. But most importantly, and as I'll explain it to the team, it's just an opportunity to compete against a good opponent and just attack the game and just, look to just continue to improve. So that'll be outstanding.
And senior day, Coach, obviously always an emotional time, but an opportunity to celebrate what those guys have meant to you and your program. Just talk about that piece of it.
Yeah, it's it's the guys that have been with us for 3 years now, that were sophomores when we first got here, that have embraced the coaching staff, have been bought in and stood for how we're trying to build this program and the foundation that we're trying to instill underneath as we continue to build this program. So with a lot of them, they might have played more earlier in their careers than they have later in their careers, but they have all kept a good attitude, and some of them have been some of our biggest contributors as well, and have sparked a lot of success for our program, over the last 3 years to be a team that maybe could overachieve, 2 years ago, or could get into the semifinals in the Big Ten tournament last year, and, could take it as far as we can possibly take it, this year. So, those guys have certainly played a very big role within our program, and the leadership has been good, and those guys are all going to go off and be extremely successful in the business world. And so it'll be a special day, it'll be a special moment, and they're all special kids.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you catching up with us this hour. We were going to miss you if we didn't catch you, so thanks for calling us this hour. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week to preview the Big Ten tournament.
Sounds great. Thanks, Sam. Thanks,
right.
Ira. See you guys.
Thanks a lot. That was Michigan baseball coach Eric Bakich.
Coach Bakich's appearances on WTKA are brought to you by Advantage Sports, your home for baseball, softball, football, hockey, soccer, volleyball, lacrosse, ice hockey, and field hockey equipment and apparel. They carry all the top brands, including Rawlings, Easton, Mizuno, Wilson, and more. And they have over 6,000 square feet of training facilities. They can service all of your high school, college, or travel teams' needs. Advantage Sports is located at 2919 West Stadium Boulevard in Ann Arbor and online at catchtheadvantage.com.
All right, we got to get to a break. Back on the other side here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com.